to the For Fun of Knit podcast. My name is Linda, and I'm coming to you from South Surrey, which is 45 minutes outside of Vancouver, British Columbia. It's a beautiful, rainy November 6th. I think it's Saturday, November 6th, and I cannot, where did October go? My goodness. If this is your first time joining me, well, thank you so much for giving this YouTube channel a chance, and I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please thumbs up. Comments are most welcome. Love the comments. For all of you that are returning, thank you so much, you guys. I'm having such a great time getting to know you all, and I'm really enjoying the commentary and the interactions. This is going to be just a wrap-up of October, which, as you know, was mostly shawlography. I can't even say it anymore. Shawlography. Shawlography. I feel drunk on knitting. I really do. It was a lot of knitting. But I'm finished, so I'm definitely going to go over that. Also going to share with you a finished object, which is no big surprise. Not the shawlography. And a hoe. Can't imagine what that was. But again, can't believe that October is already over, and now my head space is fast and furious into my favorite festive season. So as much as I enjoyed Halloween, and as much as I liked the Dia de los Muertos, you know, makeup, Halloween, the funny side of Halloween is my shtick. The scary side is not so much. But the holiday season, the Christmas season is, oh, any which way you celebrate it, that time period for me is absolutely the bomb. Showing my age because I just said the bomb. But anyway, a couple of other things I might get into, or I want to get into, not I might, I would like to get into just a little bit of the projects I would like to get into a little bit later. So I'll talk to you about that, as well as sort of, I don't know, general stuff. General stuff I'll leave probably to the end, and I'll probably put a timestamp at the bottom, so if you want to listen to it, you can, but if you don't want to listen to the chatter, don't worry about it. I will not be offended. So why don't we jump right into the fun part, which is some finished objects, and we'll start with the pièce de la résistance, which is, of course, my Shawlography shawl. And oh, I guess I should say before, cliffhanger, just keeping you on your toes. Before I start, I should probably say that this is a knitting podcast, yes, and it is all about my adventures and misadventures in knitting. No social or political commentary here. You might get little snippets about me, but not so much the world world view. Lots of podcasters cover that content, and I do enjoy watching it. But for my little corner of YouTube, it's all about For Fun of Knit, and it's really about the fun and enjoyment we get. And honestly, for me, it's an escape from the outside world sometimes. So I'd like to keep the outside world outside. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so thank you for that little, allowing me that little blurb. But are you ready? And I don't know how I'm going to show it. Are you ready? Here's my Shawlography shawl. Look at those stripes. Oh my goodness. Look at this. And I'll explain those little markers in a second. I hope I'm going to be able to show this to you, and I might have to stand back. Look at that. Okay, there we go. You can see it now. I'm peeking through the little corners. Look at the beauty of this masterpiece. Stephen West, you really, you know, went all out on the design on this one. And I am just absolutely in love with this puppy. This, to me, look at this thing. This is like wearing art, and I do mean wearing art. And you can see there's enough shawl here to go around forever. Oh, I'm just gonna wear that. Oh my goodness, I absolutely, look at how squishy this is. Absolutely loving this. So I'm going to go through it really quickly. Guys, just tune out, drink your tea, coffee, wine, whatever you're drinking, because some of you have seen this, so I'm just going to go through it very quickly. Section 1 was this little blurb here. Section 2 was this ribbing where you stripe all your 5 different colors, and I'll get to the colors in a second because I realize I'm going out of sync here. Section 3 was this beautiful slip stitch, which turns into be about little triangles. Section 4 were these I-cord loops with holes all the way through. Section 5 was this laddered pattern. Section 6 was these like marshmallows. They're called welts, but on mine it's marshmallows. There you go. Section 7 was this reverse or inverted triangle pattern. Section 8 was the popcorn stitches. Section 9 was an alternating stripe between two colors. Section 10 was brioche. As you know, you had a choice of doing mesh, but a lacework type of thing instead of brioche, but I went full on brioche. Look at how that opened up. Look at how that opened up. I love it. And then section 11 was this, really it was a two row repeat to make these X's. And then the last finale was just alternating stripes. So these stripes end up falling on an angle. Hopefully you can see that. They start falling on an angle, and it's using all your 5 colors. This has been a dream, honestly. The actual finished project to me is a dream. Not necessarily colors I would have normally chosen, but they work. It's just lovely, and I just absolutely love it to death. And I will include some pictures, but look how big this turned out. So just to recap, he has you start with, Stephen West starts you with 5 colors, and you have to have a dark, a medium, and a light, and then 2 contrasting colors that sort of, one of them has to be your color pop, and you have to choose which one you want to be your jewel, the jewel in the shawl. And I chose the variegated to be the jewel in the shawl. And this is all I have left. Unbelievable. I think I wrote it down. And of course I'm not wearing my glasses, they're on top of my head. But my color A, which is my jewel, this one, was a full skein, and I have 39 grams left. B, which is my black, I have 9 grams. I used the entire ball. And how much did I start off with on that one? I think somewhere I thought I had, isn't that strange? Somewhere I did have the tags, and now I don't have the tags. Oh, maybe they fell off somewhere. Oh well, no worries. That was a Black Cat custom yarn. This was Vivid Dye Works. Vivid Dye Works in their graffiti, their sock base in their graffiti colorway. This was Black Cat custom yarn in their everyday sock in the midnight colorway. Then color C, this was my raspberry. Oh, that's where, there you go. Here's where they are. There's where, isn't that funny? This is the thing, when you're podcasting, sometimes your brain goes just to jello. So let me start this again. Let's just start this again. Okay, so the Vivid Studio Dye Works, it's 75/25 merino nylon, and I started with 436 yards and 100 grams. I started with 100 grams and I ended up with 39 grams. So probably enough to do a pair of shorty socks, and I might have to do contrasting heels and toes, but I can start doing toe up and see how far I get with the socks on that one. That was Vivid Dye Works. Color B, that was color A. Color B was Black Cat Custom Yarns in their everyday sock, and it was 113 grams. Ooh, okay, that was 113 grams, and I have 9 left. So that literally will get me a pair of heels, I think, or maybe some toes. Don't think it will get me heels and toes and 2 pairs of socks. And this is in their everyday sock in the midnight colorway. Then of the light color, that was my Polka Dot Creek classic sock in natural, and it was 100 grams, and I ended up, that was color E, I ended up with 43 grams. 43 grams. This was my color C. My raspberry was my color C, and that's Zen, it was Zen Garden. I can't remember, in their Serenity base. I don't remember the colorway. but it was 100 grams as well, and I ended up with 20 grams left. And the last one was my color D. Sorry, I didn't do this in order. My color D was a mystery gray skein. I have no idea what it's called. I know it was 100 grams when I started, give or take, and I have 33 grams left. So that sort of gives you an idea of the yardage you're going to need to actually do the shawl. So still lots of fun, but I've got lots of colors left, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might make a hat to sort of go with it, not too sure. But oh, do I love this shawl. This is just stunning, stunning, stunning. Next October, I'm clearing my plate. I know what I'm knitting in October next year. We're doing we're going to do the Mystery Cow with Stephen West again, because, oh, this was such a wonderful experience. So that totally motivates me to finish my slip stravaganza for Christmas. But before we go through that, I'm going to share with you some of my mistakes that I made. Nobody would know. Anybody looking at this shawl would never know I made mistakes, but I have to laugh. So I told you about this one last time. These are what these little markers are for. I marked all my mistakes so I could share them with you. Because if sometimes you feel like, oh my goodness, I shouldn't be knitting, or, you know, I'm not a very good knitter. No, you're a very good knitter. Everybody makes mistakes, but I like to highlight them because I'm the only one who knows. Honestly, most mistakes in knitting you can't see. And if it's that bad that you can see it, well, then you got to make a decision. But here I did 2 knits instead of alternating a knit and purl. So one of my stripes looks wonky. Nobody would know that but me. Where else do I have a marker? Where else do I have a marker? Oh, let's maybe start at the top of the shawl. Okay, on the back of the shawl, I have a marker here because, yep, I did the first section, the second section, did the third section, and then realized I dropped a stitch. Oh my God. So I have sewn that in. Don't ask me, I still had the right stitch count, and nobody's gonna know, but I've sewn it in so nobody will know. So I dropped a stitch. There you go. And this is the funny thing. I did not count my stitches. I think I counted them once when I dropped the stitch. And then I stopped counting, and I just figured I was on track. If I had the right number of stitches left at the end, then I kind of figured I was okay. That worked great until the final border, and I'll share that with you in a second. That was just crazy, crazy. So did I do any more mistakes? Most of my mistakes I reserved for the final border. So let's go through what did I do. First of all, I don't know. I could not get the very first stripe to work. You're supposed to have 8 repeats. I couldn't get 8. I could only get 7. And I think that was part of being the black part. I could only get 7. I kept trying and nothing I would do would work. Great, you're supposed to have 33 stitches. I'm not sharing too much, hopefully. You're supposed to have 33 stitches as you go along in the striping pattern, and it's really wonderful. I love the way this worked because you would do a stripe and your I-cord binding off as you go. So when you got to the very end, there was no more binding off. Yay, which was lovely. And then at around here, I realized, here I started, I think I was over here somewhere, and then I started looking at my I-cord bind off and realized I didn't slip some stitches when I was supposed to. I just knit them instead, so I have these purl bumps instead of the beautiful slip stitch for the I-cord bind off. Oh well, it's black. No one's gonna know. Then I got to here, and this one only has 6 ridges instead of 7. So it's only got 6 repeats instead of 7. I counted back, I have 8 in my thing. I don't know what I did. My count everywhere is correct. I couldn't figure out why this one, you have to, every stripe aligns with one of these X's. And my X had 8 stitches, and I just only end up with 6 rows instead of 7. I don't know how I did that. But I must have done something wrong because the very next row I've got 8 instead of 7. So somewhere between these two X's, which both have 8 stitches, I did something wrong. Don't know. Don't think anyone's going to tell that this is a skinny stripe and this is a super fat stripe. Then as we move along, and trust me, I kept making mistakes, I got to about here, which is about halfway, not quite, and I realized I started with 33 stitches. Now I'm at 39 stitches. How the heck have I been increasing stitches all the way along? It's a very simple process of just slipping some stitches, knitting 2 together, not complicated, very memorable in terms of the repeat. I have no idea. So I thought, okay, well, I'm all the way here with 39. I'll figure out where the corresponding part is on the other side, and I'll keep 39 all the way across, and then I'll start decreasing on this side. And hopefully it'll not look too odd. Because I wasn't going to go all the way back. I did count. I went stripe by stripe to figure out where my increases were. And it was like 33, then I get to 34, then I get to 36, then I get to 38, now I'm 39. I was increasing all the way along. Have no idea. So that was fun. Then continuing along, and here, what did I do here? I can't remember. I think I just put a marker there because I must have knit this particular piece 25 times. Okay, so now I'm past the halfway mark. I keep going, and then I get to over here. And oh my goodness, what am I noticing? I'm noticing a hole. Hang on, this is what happens. Why do I have a hole? Why do I have a hole? Do I have a hole? No, just a loose stitch. Okay, whew, little panic. I can just, I got one stitch that is just really loose, so I can just pull it and feed and spread that looseness through the stitches. I will do that. Whew, I thought that was another error. But I got to here, funny enough, in that particular space. And so, pardon me, I know what I was going to say. So in this white one back here somewhere, I started my decreases. So now I started to decrease systematically, trying to get back to the 33 stitches that was required. And then I get all the way over here and I'm back up to 39. I have no idea. I'm back up to 39 and I purled some edge stitches. I don't know. I have the brain of a sieve. Oh, this one's really loose too. Huh, I was doing something really weird. I must have been tired when I was knitting that. That is not a drop stitch. I just have to tighten that up. See, these stitches here are nice and close and this one's really loose. So I will tighten that up. See, nobody would notice this but me when I'm doing it. Needless to say, I went all the way along, kept decreasing until I got to the 33 stitches again. And so my ends are even and my shawl in the middle, where the stripes are at the bottom of the shawl, they are 6 stitches deeper than the rest of the stripes. But I don't think it just adds more drape. But you probably can tell if I do this, if I hold it next to each other, you probably can see that these stripes are a little bit smaller than those stripes. I don't know if you can see that, but it worked out well. Anyway, so that is the fun of this particular shawl. One thing I did notice that when I was blocking it, I did not aggressively block this shawl. So pre-blocking, this shawl was 62-inch wingspan and 22 inches deep. I was worried before I blocked it because of this section. This section is stranded color work, and so you're carrying floats in the back. These are the floats that you're carrying in the back. And I was very conscious of making sure they were very loose because I already thought, well, I'm not great at stranded color work and I want to make sure that it can stretch when I block it. And so I didn't block it aggressively because of that. I didn't want to pull on it too much. When I wrap it around myself this way, I can feel there's no give. There's no give left in this section here. So this shawl, while it fits very comfortably, you can't pull it any tighter than what I've done. Without meaning to, I basically, well, still it closes quite nicely, but without meaning to, I blocked this section to its maximum. The rest could have gone a lot bigger, but this section was at its maximum. So that is something to take in mind if you're going to knit this. Be careful with that. Just by soaking it, it grew to 78 inch wingspan and 30 inches deep. It's huge. It's a schlanket. I love it. It's beautiful. So there you go. This is my Stephen West shawl, Shawlography. And I don't know, I hope you can see that. Look, all the beautiful details that just pop with this shawl. There you go. Anyway, I tend to wear my shawls bunched around myself like this anyway, so it works out very well. And I will just fiddle with that, but there you go. My Shawlography. Love it. Okay, it's too warm in my little office here or my little knitting nook to wear it at the moment, but this is a work of art. I might have to cover the painting and just hang this up because it's just so beautiful. Anyway, a lot of fun. I would highly recommend it if anyone. I was really worried that it was going to be overwhelming, and that I was really worried I wouldn't finish because I have a tendency not to finish. That said, I also thought I could be knitting other things while I was doing this particular project. No, not me. I'm a slow knitter. 3 of these stripes took me an hour. So you can imagine how many hours of knitting the border is. 3 hours, 3 stripes takes me an hour. I'm a slow knitter. I'm a thrower, and I use my whole arm and my whole shoulder. Not very graceful, but it took a long time. So here I had all these aspirations that I would probably finish my speckle and pop. Nope. Work on Patty's sweater. Nope. Do a few other things. Nope. So hence, it is Saturday. I am not knitting today. Tomorrow is Sunday. I won't be knitting tomorrow. I'm just going to give my hands and my shoulders a little bit of a break. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dream about the upcoming knitting fiesta that I'm going to have. So that was Shawlography. Next, I'm going to show you some finished objects that you've almost seen before, but I've got a few things to share with you on socks. Don't you love socks? Me and socks. I love socks. I really do. And the funny thing about socks is you would think they'd be so easy to knit, and they are easy to knit, but you think I could make a perfect sock? Nope. I am challenged in making a perfect sock. So I keep trying, and I keep trying different things. So my standard is my just vanilla 64 stitch, 2.25 needle. I alternate between a 2x2 rib and a 1x1 rib. And I don't really have a preference between cuff down or toe up. I kind of like them both depending on what I'm trying to do with the yarn. If I don't know how much far my yarn will go, I'll definitely start at the toe and work up that way. If I'm trying different types of heels, the pattern might call for cuff down. So I like both. I have no preference. These particular socks, as you know, I knit in PEI, but I had to put in the heels. So I put in the heels, I finished the toes, but I had put in the heels. And this is where I really want to talk about it. Kitchener Stitch and I, for some reason, are not getting along. I don't know what I'm doing. I have to try and try and try and try and try. I don't know if you can see this, if it's showing in the camera, but I got me a hole. I got a hole. Yeah, you can see that. I got a hole. I don't know why I have a hole. I Kitchener stitch. I think I did it right. But, you know, just to make sure, I don't know what I'm doing because I got a hole. I don't know if you can see that, but I got a hole. It doesn't look very big, but it's still a hole. So I thought, I don't know, on the next sock, I'm going to be really super diligent on the next sock. And on the next sock, I was super diligent and I got a hole. I got another hole. Why do I have holes? Look at this hole. Somebody tell me what I'm doing. I have no idea. And then I thought, okay, fourth time lucky. Fourth time lucky. Be super, super, pooper, duper diligent. 1 out of 4 Kitchener stitches I did properly. Absolutely perfectly. No hole whatsoever. 1 out of 4. Don't ask me what I did or how I did that. The other thing that I did, I still have to weave in my ends on this sock, but I don't know what I did on this sock. But I'll show you from the inside. Oh, can I show you on the inside? Huge, massive hole. And I normally do not get holes when I do afterthought heels. But I have to weave that in. I haven't weaved it in because I just wanted to show you. So I don't know what I did. I normally don't. I do the Earth Tone Girls way of changing out yarns and weaving in as you go, and it works perfectly well. I don't know what I did on that particular one. What I would say is I don't like that weave in as you go when you're doing the afterthought heel part, because this is what happens sometimes. The yarn bubbles, you know, because it stretches, the yarn bubbles, and that's right on the heel that I'm walking on. And I'm not too sure how comfortable that's going to be, so I might pick that right out and weave it in on the top of the sock. It happened on that section as well. You can see it looks really messy. It's because it's so I don't know. Maybe I've got to review that. Maybe I'm not doing that properly either. Wouldn't surprise me. But they're my socks. Who's to know? Who's to know? Just like Julia Child says, who's to know? One of my favorite movies is Julie and Julia. I was in a real cooking phase, and I think I watched that thing, I don't know, 12 times in a row. Don't know if anybody else has seen Julie and Julia or loves to cook, and I went out and bought a whole bunch of Le Creuset after that. But these socks are absolutely a joy, and the colorway is called Joy, and it's from the Cozy Knitter, self-striping. And did I want to share anything about this? No, I think it's all good. But I love self-striping. There's no weaving in of ends. What I did do is I had to, because I wanted matching self-striping socks, I said this on one of my previous podcasts, is I did waste a little bit of yarn because the stripe repeat, when I got them long enough, didn't end at the right spot. So in order for this one to start with gray, and both of them are silver, and both of them have the same striping going all the way through, I had to cut off a section of yarn in the middle. But other than that, afterthought heels, lovely. That was my finished object because, heck, they got heels. So I'm happy about that. And as I continue to knit socks, I continue to search for a perfect knit in a sock. And I wasn't happy how my Kitchener stitch was going. So Earth Tone Girls had done a video on the shadow heel. Is it called the shadow short row heel? Shadow short row heel. And hey, this is a hoe. This is my one Halloween sock. I know. I couldn't even finish my Halloween socks because of Shawlography, but I absolutely love this. This yarn is Over the Moon yarn in their Electron sock base in part of their Star Trek monthly club, and this is called Resistance is Futile? Oh, I don't know if this is called Resistance is Futile, but the stitch marker that I used with this is the Borg. It's the Borg box. But anyway, isn't it beautiful? It's just multicolors, green and black. And I did just a lovely 3x1 rib. Again, no pattern. So I thought, okay, well, I'll start with a 2x2 rib on the top. And then I wanted to switch it to a 3x1 rib. And after the thought, I thought, well, you should have done a 1x1 rib in the cuff. If you're into symmetry at all, and I'm not that much, but all these things happen to me after the fact, The only reason I would have changed the cuff is just that if it had been 1 by 1 rib, you could have centered the one rib in between the 3 stitches down below. 2 by 2 doesn't correspond as well. I don't know if you can see it. You get kind of this line. I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, it was just a thought. So I had a 3 by 1 on the bottom. Love that cushy feel. That's my favorite. I think that honestly is my favorite feeling sock. And then I did my first ever shadow short row heel. Look at that. So these were cuffed down, no Kitchenering, because I had so much problems with this. I thought, okay, I'll try a different type of heel. Really loved the process of this heel. My only issue is the heel's not deep enough. I need a deep, I've got a broad heel and a deep heel. Like I've got a very high arch here and yeah, and a broad heel. So I'm much wider this way. And so I just found the heel a little bit small, like it only comes literally to a little wedge, and I really would like it to be deeper, and I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to extend that heel. See, with the Afterthought heel, it's exactly the same size heel as this, but what I do is I knit 6 rows up before I close it off. So I'm giving 6 rows more of depth to my heel. I can't do that with this one. But I laugh because I tried actually doing this shadow short row heel on this sock. You can't do it as an Afterthought heel. I don't know what I was thinking. You can't do it as an afterthought. There's nothing to connect the second half of the heel to, unless you do a 3 needle bind off or some sort of a I don't know what you call it, grafting. So again, trial and error. So honestly, I laugh at myself. But I love the toes. Look at the toes. So again, knitting, thinking that I had my socks long enough, I started knitting the toe in orange. Then I thought I would try them on before I finished my Kitchener stitch and realized, oh no, that my whole foot is an inch too short. Ripped it all out, continued the 3 by 1 ribbing for an inch in orange, and then started the toe. And I actually kind of like the effect. I like the effect. It's a bigger orange toe, and that's very Halloween-y. That's perfectly Halloween. So now I have another sock that I need to get done for next Halloween. I'll try and do that before Stephen West's knit along next year, because I have learned you cannot knit anything else if you want to finish on time. Now that said, my sister is knitting it too, and she is not finished her stripes yet. So it ended yesterday. I was finished on time, which is awesome. Haven't posted yet, so it doesn't really matter. But I really wish you would make it 6 weeks. 4 weeks is a little tight. And I don't understand. If you're working full time, how can you possibly complete the shawl in 4 weeks? He says, don't race, go at your own pace. Don't stress, just say yes, don't stress. But part of the fun is kind of knitting it in the time frame for those of us that are goal-oriented. So I just think it would be more fair if he would give everybody 6 weeks rather than 4, because, oops, sorry, earthquake, no, that was just me hitting the camera. I just think 6 weeks is a more reasonable time frame. I don't know, did anybody else have that issue? I know a lot of you are knitting or have knit, finished now the Shawlography, and I would love it if you would share your Instagram name, only if you feel comfortable to do so. It's not required, but I'd love to see what you've made. It's the only way I can follow it is if I know who you are on Instagram. But that was my Shawlography, my finished object, and my hoe. So that is it for knitting acquisition. One acquisition this month, and that was the October Over the Moon Star Trek Sock Club. And this is the beautiful, look at how beautiful. This is Serena and Caitlin from Over the Moon Yarns. This is in their electron base. I love this. This is the squishiest base ever. And this is called Klingon Cuisine. And look at it. It's got these beautiful blush purples and pinks combined with chocolate browns and a little bit of gold, and oh, not gold as in Stellina gold, but like copper tones. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I cannot wait to make socks out of these. This is such a beautiful colorway. And I had to laugh. Excuse the plastic. I'm going to try and open it up. They always send you a little gift, which is usually it can be a stitch marker or something else, and some candy. They always send candy. The candy lasts all of 5 seconds. I open it up. I open up the bag and poof, candy's gone. What was the title? It was called Klingon Cuisine. Can you see this? Can you see this? It's worms on a plate. So appropriate for Halloween. I cannot wait to use that one next year. It's so gross. It's gross in a good way. But there you go, Klingon Cuisine. So those two are a match set. We will definitely, this is not Halloween-y to me. This is beautiful. This is stunning. It kind of matches kind of what I'm wearing. But that's totally Halloween. So, guys, you have a great sense of humor. I love it. I had a great time with that. Okay, so that's it for knitting. And now I am going to take 2 days off, which for me is just shocking. But because I really want to spend some time thinking about what I want to knit. So Shawlography was fun. The mystery knit along was fun. It is the first time I have ever finished a project in the time of a mystery knit along or a knit along period. I love joining knit alongs because it sort of gives me a bit of focus, but I suck. I totally suck at finishing them. So I think I'm not going to do them that often. I think this one, I mean, there's a lot of them going on and they're wonderful. They're all wonderful. So if you haven't done a knit along or a mystery knit along, join any one of them. Helen Stewart from Curious Handmade, she does 1 or 2 every year. Andrea Mowry's doing one right now. All the designers have mystery and or just knit alongs. And they're a lot of fun because it gives you a start point and an end date and something to strive for, and you're knitting with a group and there's lots of camaraderie and conversation. And I love that. But for me, the way I like to knit is very spontaneous. As you know, I'm not a monogamous knitter, and this was a monogamous project. So yay me, I went totally outside my personality, outside my box, and I finished something beginning to end in a very short time. So while I am super proud of that, is that my happy place? No, it isn't. I like going wherever the mood strikes me, and so I like to have multiple projects on the go. And so as I think about between now and Christmas, it's hilarious. I have all these aspirations to do Christmas knitting. Not gonna do it. I downloaded Helen Stewart's, gift knitting project planner, and I started writing out what I would really like to make the people that I care about, in my life. And it would be too much knitting. It would be a lot of knitting. And again, it's only 8 weeks before Christmas. Not even 8 weeks, 7 weeks before Christmas. That just would have put a whole nother Shawlography time frame on me. And so I thought, no, why am I knitting? I'm knitting because I love it, and I love just the spontaneity of it, and I love the color, or I love the yarn, the actual wool, and I'm getting, I'm really wanting to try knitting something that's a very rustic sweater, not with superwash merino for a change. I have lots of that and love it, love every piece of it, but really doing some stuff more in DK and worsted and yeah, just a little bit more. I'd love to try a cardigan. I'd love to do I would love to do a cabled cardigan. Oh, there's so many things I would love to do. So I'm going to take today and tomorrow and just think about what it is I would like to knit. I love knitting festive stuff. So I'm going to do a little bit about that, obviously. But I also want to knit garments. Garments for the most part. I think I have enough shawls for a while. So I am going to finish Helen Stewart's From the Curious Handmade mystery knit along last May, which I never finished, called the Stillness shawl. I will finish that. I still have my Slipstravaganza. I still have the Brioche Luscious. I have to do the brioche for my sister. Haven't done that yet. So I think I have enough shawls on the go for a while, so I'm not going to knit any more shawls for now. I would really like to knit some garments, and I've also been thinking more about the sewing. If you followed me at all, you know last year I was going to knit masks. I had all these aspirations. You saw a video of me cutting out all these masks. I haven't done that yet. So that's another thing I would love to do. I'm keep thinking about it. It's on my, on my to-do list of things I want to accomplish. So starting to sew a little bit. But let me share with you, some of the projects that are in my queue now. So this is the Mousseau by Espace Tricot. And the Mousseau is all mohair held double. I have a lot of mohair. I have 2 skeins of mohair in a lot of different colors. Do I have a sweater's quantity in one color? No. But maybe I can do something with those colors. So that's sort of something I've been thinking about. This sweater is absolutely a must. This is called the First Light Sweater by, I think it's Liv Ulven. I hope you can see that. First Light by Liv Ulven. I love that one. That's that rustic. It's done in Plotulopi. I don't have Plotulopi, and I'm not going to buy more yarn for now. But I do have some rustic Aran weight yarns, which will be perfect. Won't necessarily have the same halo, so I might add some mohair. Wow, will that be warm? But I might add some mohair because the yarns I have don't have a halo. This one I love. This is in my queue, Morning Rituals by Andrea Mowry. I have some beautiful navy Crafty Jack DK that I like. Snowy Forest by Midori Heroes. Midori Heroes. A lot of people are making this one right now, but I just love this. I love that it's a little bit raglan-y, so I'm kind of being hypocritical because I said I don't really like raglan, but it's just an oversized, I can see it on a cold, crisp day, and I'd like to make one of those very casual, gathered kind of dresses to go underneath. Don't laugh at this one, but I'm going to give this a go. And there's 2 skirts, and I can't remember the other skirt, and I'll just say in a minute, but this is the Ribba skirt. The Ribba skirt by Katarina Lindhagen. The Ribba skirt. So I would like to make a skirt. So there's 2 skirts, and it was the Naughty Knitwits. It was Michelle was knit, no, pardon me. It was 3-Plied Podcast. It was Angie. She was knitting a skirt in Noro yarn, and it was called I think it's called the Zuzu. I can't find it on Ravelry. If anybody knows what skirt that was, and if you watch the 3-Plied Podcast, can somebody DM me and tell me what the pattern is? I could always go back and watch the video again. I suppose that's a good idea. But it's a diagonal, stripe, multicolored. She was just using Noro, and it changes colors all the time, and it was lovely. And this one I thought would be nice. They're slim fitting, which is not my ideal for my body shape. However, if you have an oversized sweater on top of it, then it hides most of those little flaws, shall we say. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about, and I'm just in the process of figuring out what yarns I want to use, putting those in project bags, and so that will sort of be the next several months for me of knitting, but not right away. Not right away. Why? Because I've got Patty's sweater that I want to finish, and I've got my slip stravaganza shawl that I want to finish. So those are going to be my works in progress. I'm going to cast on one of these, so we'll have lots of fun. And of course, I'm going to cast on something that's really festive, whether that is an ornament or I don't know what it's going to be. It might be a garment or a gift knit. I'm not too sure, but that's sort of where I am at with the whole knitting thing at the moment. I can't wait. I can't wait. And you know, I don't know. I have all these wonderful plans, and tomorrow it might be completely different and I'll do something totally different. But for now, that is my thoughts on, yeah, what I want to knit. So thank you so much, folks. That was all the knitting for now. If you want to tune out, no harm, no foul. For those of you that want to stick around, I'm just going to talk very quickly about what's going on. Oh gosh, so we are planning on going back to Spain for 2 months, January, February. My mom is planning to sort of, do a trip that includes going to Virginia for Christmas to my sister, then meeting us in Spain for 2 weeks, then going with her sister, meeting her sister in Holland. So my aunt lives in Holland still. So Enoch and Hans, hi, if you're watching. And then going from Holland to Portugal, back to Amsterdam, and then flying home. And so she's going to be gone 6 weeks. Well, this is causing us a no shortage amount of stress. It's all organized, it's all fine, we've got everything that we need, we're all documented, all that kind of stuff, but just the way COVID is going, I don't know. I'm still on the fence. And even for us going to Spain, I'm still on the fence. I don't know. Going to PEI was stressful enough, but now going to Europe and being cloistered on a plane, 1 or 2 planes for an extended period of time, and in airports, and I don't know, maybe I'm being paranoid, but Patrick and I are talking about that a lot. We're just kind of humming and hawing and wondering if we're just pushing it a little bit and should we be going, and so we're trying to work through all of that. On top of that, I have started working out. I laugh. Twice a week. I have now figured out twice a week is not enough. No. Because through all this COVID, while I, don't probably look like I've changed a lot below the camera, I have kind of, grown in girth a bit. So I've been really, trying to think about what it is that I need to do from an exercise and diet perspective. I don't diet. I can't diet. I love food. It's just the way it is. I love my sugar. I love cream in my coffee. What I can do is cut down, yes. But mostly for me, it's about being active. And I have been probably the most sedentary in the last year than I have been my entire life. So I am working out twice a week. Yay. But that's not enough. Now I have to start walking. And it's pouring with rain, but I have to start walking. So I'm going to do that. So I have figured out that, excuse me, I'm just going to have a sip of tea. So I have figured out that I probably, if I really, really want to do a big health improvement, I'm going to have to walk around 10K a day. Is that crazy? That's probably crazy. Maybe not 10K, because I walk the dog 3 times a day. But it's now strolling. Duke is now almost 13 years old, so we stroll. We don't really walk. So while that used to be exercise for me, because I used to be able to go out for like an hour, I can't do that anymore. We stroll. And if we make it 3 blocks, we're good. So that's another thing. I have to start moving. So that is on the docket for me this year, or for the next little while anyway. And And other than that, that's all I've got. Just thought I would share that with you. I don't know if you found that interesting or not, but I hope you are all keeping well. I would like to remind Victoria Northfield to direct message me regarding the gift skein of yarn that she won. She won this, and I haven't heard from her yet, so hopefully you are out there, Victoria, and able to watch and able to DM me at Nena Knits, either on Instagram or email me at nenaknits@gmail.com. And Nena, somebody asked me where Nena comes from. Nena is actually a nickname my sister used to call me in Spanish, which means in the 70s it meant little girl. I'm sure it still does, but language tends to change, so it might not be used as much anymore. But Nena, N-E-N-A, means little girl. So she always called me Nena, and she still does. She calls me Nena, not Linda. So that's where Nena Knits comes from, which is just as a sidebar. But yeah, Victoria, if you get this, please DM me or email me so that I can send it to you. We are going to have a giveaway now, because this is for the For Fun of Knit podcast. So if you did stick around this long, awesome. But let's just talk a little bit about the giveaway. So what we are going to do is it's getting towards that festive season, and perhaps there's a gift exchange in your near future. I would like to know who your favorite, and it might not be your favorite, but who is a project bag maker that has a shop of some kind that you have purchased a bag. So I'd like you to tell me what was the theme of the bag that you purchased and who did you purchase it from. So this has got to be a loved bag, something that you enjoy using. Hey, for some of you, you might not have purchased any project bags, in which case, what is your favorite type of project bag that you use? But certainly if you do have a go-to or one or two project bag makers, crafters that you would like to highlight, I'd love to know who those are. So if you put a comment below on your favorite project bag and who made it, that would be absolutely wonderful. And we are going to, I will send you, it's going to be a random draw, as I always do, and it'll be live on the next video. But the prize is this Scrumptious Pearl. Look at her logo. It's a border collie. I love it. But this is a Scrumptious Pearl Stripe Me Up self-striping colorway in the colorway Blossom, Blushing Blossoms, sorry. And it's called Blushing Blossoms. It's very festive to me, but it could go either way because this is not white. This is actually a blush pink, and it is just beautiful. I love it to death, and I think it would be a wonderful, wonderful gift and appropriate for the upcoming festive season. So this is the giveaway. It is 400 yards. It is 80% merino, 20% nylon in a sock weight. So, well, it is her sock. So I don't know if it's sock weight. It's fingering weight, but it is her sock. Stripe Me Up sock. So that is the giveaway for this episode. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I greatly appreciate that you stopped by and spent a little time. And if this is your first time, thank you so much. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it and love all the comments. Comment about anything. Contest, yes, but feel free to comment about anything as well. And I look forward to chatting with you the next time, because if I'm not mistaken, I'm coming up to my 2nd year anniversary for podcasting. So might be a giveaway there too. We'll have to see. Anyway, thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves and talk to you very soon. Take care.